one thing I want you to do when completing this part of the assignment is come and look at all the examples. I have the hotel booking examples, but I also have the coffee shop online ordering system examples. And those, I am expecting that you will use both of these because there's going to be interactions in the given use scenarios that you'll be turning in, extended use scenarios that you'll be turning in, that I don't have examples for in the hotel booking system, but I do have examples for in the coffee shop, where the coffee shop online ordering system. So that being said, I want to talk about some common things that you're going to want to do. So you're going to want to, and I mentioned these over here. So we're going to need to write interactions between classes, the user interface, and other classes, between multiple classes, and then we're going to create new objects. I didn't mention destroy, but you'll also learn how to destroy objects. So taking a look at the extended use scenarios. So here we're interacting with the user interface. Here we are creating an object. So whenever we create an object, we need a constructor. So think about your experience using code. Whenever we need to create a new object in our system, we always have to construct it. All right, I'm going to jump down to the last one because I'm going to go over the other one with you. So employee modifies room list. So scenario starts off on room list page. Employee scrolls down. Employee clicks edit. So here's another common interaction that you're going to see. So we've already talked about user interface interactions, and then we've talked about creating interactions. Here's an edit interaction. So this is where we are going to be editing the parameters or the variables within our classes. And this isn't something that we have given every functionality or every class the ability to do. So if I look at my product backlog, is there a place where I can edit my account? Well, it says user accounts. All customers will sign up for an account. Okay. I don't see anything about a user being able to edit their account, even when we get down here to the customer actions. Why? Because users can edit their account. That's a later functionality. These later functionalities are things that we will eventually get to. Remember, we're working in sprints here. We have to get as much done as we can in a 2-week period. And I'm talking about in this Scrum context, we have to try to get as much done from our product backlog, from the section we're working on as a team in a 2-week period that we've been given for a sprint, hypothetically, right? So we don't want to try to fit too much functionality into our single sprint. And so at this point, the user does not have the option to edit their account. But the employee can edit a room. So they can modify a room, or they can modify the room list, and they can edit room details. And so on those classes where they can edit them, there's going to be, and I don't even have it in there, there needs to be a function to edit. So I'm going to copy and paste this. And this is another thing that you're going to do. Well, you probably won't actually need to do this unless my class diagram is missing something that I give you, which is totally possible, just like it is right now. Our room is going to need to be able to be updated. So I'm adding that function right now. Notice they have update clean and update availability, but that's only updating 2 of the classes out of, or 2 of the attributes out of all of them. But we want to be able to update all of them if we need to. Looking at our extended use scenarios, so employees calling edit. So the user interface calls room, get room. Okay, so we're getting that detail. We're getting that object first. That's another common one you're going to see. You're going to see constructors, editing, interactions with the interface, and then getting. So we need to be able to get information from a room. And these are all, if you go and look through these, you're going to see these patterns in all of these. So it may just look like a bunch of words, but if you take the time to read these, you're going to see these common patterns. So here we're getting the room first before we can edit it. So when they click on edit on room 211, we have to bring up that information so that the user can see it. And then the employee sees populated 211 details. Employee clicks delete. And this one said edit, so they're going to click edit. So the way that this interaction worked, right? They said edit because when they click edit, it brings up the form, and then there's also a delete button. So we'll go over the edit one in a minute here, actually, because that's the one I wanted to go over with you. But here's what they do. So the employee clicks delete. First, the user interface confirms that delete. And once it's confirmed, we do the interaction of deleting it. So the employee is going to display the deletion message. The user interface is going to call the room list, and it's going to remove the room. So if you come here, let's make sure it's there. This one says drop room, so you need to make sure that the functions or the methods match. So I'm going to say remove, and it's only one room. Remove room. All right. So remove room, room list calls destructor, room destructor. So it's going to, room list is now calling the room destructor. Again, this is not something that's going to be listed, but we just know every class has that. Then we're going to do all of our returns. User interface returns updated room list to employee, and then the user interface displays deletion success to employee. So we have two calls for our two returns from the user interface here, which is okay. You can have that. Like I said before, these are just, the other ones that we've been talking about are just common patterns. This is one that you'll see too, though, when the user interface has multiple things that it needs to show the user. And why do we need two things? Well, because there is a message that's being popped up, right? So a user sees a pop-up message, but we also need to make sure that that room list is updated behind the pop-up message. So you'll see that there. Again, if you're not sure, come and look at the examples. The examples are going to have all of these interactions laid out for you, just with different situations. So whenever you're adding anything, adding information, removing information, editing information, all of that stuff's going to be here. And there's even going to be where you have to process a payment, right? That information is also going to be in the example. So jump over. We're going to do the extended use scenario example together.